It's Pippa from Love Local Radio in part two of our chat with Phil Webb. He's the Managing Director of Investors in Community. It's a new platform which is designed to bring businesses and charities and community groups in the third sector together. Tell me, what is corporate social responsibility? It really is at the hub of this project. And why are businesses focusing on it right now?
Sure. Well, corporate social responsibility is a three-letter acronym, a buzzword, if you like, for things that we call good business, things that we call community linking. We find many businesses don't recognize the word CSR, or corporate social responsibility. But when you ask them, do they ever give to charity or volunteer, they say, oh, yes, we do that. So that's really what it's all about. It's about creating sustainable links with the communities around where the businesses actually exist. And that extends from geographic locations to obviously the communities of people which surround the business. And those communities are, in fact, their staff, their employees, it is their customers, their suppliers, and the people that rely upon the business for general services and goods in the area.
So when businesses make these connections with local organisations, they might give their employees, for example, a couple of days off a year to go and volunteer at any project that they're particularly interested in. So I can see really clearly the feel-good factor for employees. What else is in it for a business?
Well, it's interesting because most companies will look at that statement you just made and say, well, that's a cost, isn't it? That's actually going to cost us time, and we don't have the time for our staff and our employees to go out into the community at the cost of the business. Well, actually, CSR, or responsible business, can actually be a very well-defined return on investment. So the idea is that, yes, you might allow your staff to go and volunteer, but they bring something back with them. It can be around team building, for example, or it can be around, yes, there's a feel-good factor, but they also bring back a very important thing, and it's called a story. And that story, that impact they've had in the community on that particular day, is something that the company should be quite happy to put into their marketing press releases and actually espouse what a great company they are and how caring they are in the community. That has a knock-on effect, because if you scan the business pages of news these days, you might very quickly skimp over the ones that say that, John and Sally have joined the sales team. That's great for them, obviously. Or in fact, we've won a large order. That's fantastic. But you actually stop, your eyes stop at those stories that say, actually, John and Sally helped the homeless or helped those in need in the local community. And you pause for a while and you read the good news stories. So volunteering, gifting, but cash donations obviously are the ways to give in the community, but they've all got to return to the business if it's handled in the right way.
And looking beyond that, I guess, are investors and business partners and so on, are they interested in this sort of thing?
Increasingly so. I mean, the community links used to be the twig on the branch of the tree, if you like. It's the thing that we did occasionally when businesses got to the point in the year they said, well, we haven't done anything for charity, let's pick one. That sort of moves centre stage, and I'm going to suggest that the corporate social responsibility, or being a responsible business, is actually become the main trunk of the tree, because from that are all the branches that go out into staff engagement, attracting new staff, the best ones, not just any ones. It's actually all about creating contacts with customers through the tendering process, and the tenders are very, very often, more often than not these days, calling for explanations and verified examples of what you've done in the community, because people like to do business with people who care. So these have direct impacts on the world around you as a business person. Investors increasingly are looking for what we used to call them green investments, actually, now calling them responsible companies. So they're looking for evidence that the company has a vision beyond just the ka-ching of the cash till into more a sustainable relationship with its communities and its customers.
And you talked about the stories that come out of these partnerships and these engagements being on the business pages. But CSR, corporate social responsibility, is increasingly now making its way into the wider public consciousness. So do you think it will have an impact on the consumer in the high street at the end of the day, if they're, buying a new fridge, for example?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the whole COVID pandemic has taught us one thing, is that we do not exist in isolation. We exist as a community. And I think we finally see that community and society is absolutely the bedrock of how we behave as human beings. So when you talk about customers and consumers making decisions, there's some very eminent reports in the marketplace from independent reporting, people like Nielsen's, KPMG and the like, that actually suggest that up to 81% of people will base their buying decisions on whether they think the company is actually a good company, a responsible company, and a caring one. So it has a direct knock-on effect, if you like, to consumer behaviour. And if you can put yourself out as a business that does care, and provably so, I think you'll attract more customers and therefore become more sustainable in revenue terms as you grow out of the pandemic.
On the platform, Phil, you've got some corporate giants. Is this a platform that would work for smaller businesses, for family businesses?
Oh, absolutely. We've designed the platform from the base up, so this will appeal to anybody from even a single sole trader right up to the very large multinational corporates. And it's open to everybody in a very, very fair way. So as a small business, an SME in the area, you're very easily able to do all the things that the big corporates can do on the platform. There's no restrictions, and you can actually build your own CSR story using the platform as verified evidence of the activity you've got. So this is something that's open to all. We expect everybody to take part in the activities I've described and to reap the benefits of getting this right.
Does it take a lot of time to manage your profile once it's set up?
Not really. It takes literally about 10 minutes to set the profile up and fully populate it, as with any membership-based organisation online. And from that point onwards, you can use it as often or as little as you wish. It's important to know that the business has a profile, but also all of its staff also have an individual profile that belongs to them, not the business. So they can take that as a portable account of giving that lasts their lifetime, and that will always be free to the individual. So it's a very flexible arrangement built to address the needs and structures of companies very, very big, but yes, also very, very small indeed.
Fantastic. And it's a great way to demonstrate in one easy place a picture of the work and the commitment that a business has made to a community. But CSR is a bigger and wider picture than that, isn't it? So does this form, or is there a way for businesses to demonstrate their wider CSR activities?
Yes, CSR is a term we apply to a broad range of subjects, and that can range from obviously the community aspect, which is what we've just been talking about, but it also extends into environmental and ecological impacts as well, such as waste saving, such as doing activities that help to protect and promote the planet's well-being. And so CSR is a very broad subject. Interestingly, there is actually now an official accreditation for CSR that hasn't been around until very recently. And that's a company which is called CSR Accreditation, CSRA, and they exist in Buckinghamshire, and they form an independent view of a submission that any business will make to them, very large and very small, and provide a means of accreditation. So your business has a route map through our platform into the CSR accreditation process, which will actually validate and verify all the work they've been doing, not just in the community, but in the wider remit as well.
How's it going so far? How many businesses and charities do you have signed up?
Well, at the moment, we have an increasing number of charities. We're into the hundreds now. We aim to be in the thousands by Christmas. But, of course, that's only evidence as part of the ongoing involvement of individuals and businesses. So we're signing up businesses literally by the week as we come out of the pandemic. So we've had a slight pause while we all got locked down, of course. But coming out of that with renewed vigour and a very much renewed focus from the communities at large, we expect a huge take-up in the next 6 months. So it's going to be, although it's relatively new, this has been a platform which has been incepted over a few years. Yes, it was launched in February this year in the city, but we expect this to go exponentially large as people emerge from the pandemic, realising that rebuilding with CSR at the heart of what they do is the only way to achieve sustainable success.
Terrific. What a great line to finish on. Phil, can you tell me where we can find out more information? What's the website address?
Of course, thank you. The website address is the www.investorsincommunity.org. That's investorsincommunity.org. There you'll find our homepage. You can register as an individual, and once you've done that, you're able to register your business or charity, or both if you have multiple roles, of course, and manage your entire activity in one place with just one log on.